Alright, welcome back from the desk blow. I have with me a West Coast MC. I like to call him a legend because I found him on a Linkin Park CD in 2002 and I was like, damn, who's this guy? And without further introduction, I have my guy, Planet Asia.
Peace. What's good, everybody?
How you doing, sir? Let's start this off right. Happy New Year.
Man, Happy New Year and all that, you know?
Planet Asia, I bet you got this question a lot, but I know the answer. What does your name mean? And I know your name stands for Planet All Started in Africa. But is there any other meanings to that name, sir?
Yeah, body, body mass. Asia is the name of the planet Earth. That's the original name of the planet Earth. And I'm the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, creator of the planet Earth, father of civilization, and God of the universe.
Okay. And
the black man of Asia.
Did you have to play around with other names before you found Planet Asia, or was that like right off the rip?
I had a lot of other names, but not a lot of other names, but a few. I had a few other names. Like my first rap name, I think might have been the first real rap name I had was MCJ.
Okay, okay.
And then it was Asiatic J. Then it was Asiatic J, Asiatic X, Asiatic, then Planet Asia.
Okay. And I understand that you love the 88, 89 fashion look too, because that's a timeless look. I love the fat rope, gold chains, the New Jack era. I was curious the first time you ever fell in love with that look, sir, because that look is like one of a kind, and I don't think that we can ever rebirth that again, because that was like once in a lifetime.
That 80s, that late 80s fashion, man, was crazy, man. That's when, a lot of the designer brands really got put on the map through hip hop at the time. Didn't nobody know about Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all this stuff that you hear about today. We had the bootleg versions of that, and the bootleg version was actually better than the real version back then.
That's facts, because some of those newer brands that looks like they just founded at a Salvation Army.
Matter of fact, all the bootleg stuff, not just high-end stuff, but even stuff like Nike. You had a bunch of bootleg Nike stuff back then, Nike sweatsuits and stuff, and they didn't even make. It was stuff that Nike didn't even make. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember having like a satin snakeskin Nike jumpsuit before. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, they definitely weren't making those now.
Yeah, that was in like '89. You know what I'm saying? And junior high. That was when I was in junior high.
I understood you were very fresh in junior high as well too, because I'm a fan of yours. I definitely been paying attention to you throughout the years too. I was curious though, when did you first started actually dressing like the way that you wanted to dress too? Because I figured within time we all started finding our own certain styles.
I think it was different periods in my life. I would definitely have to start off in the junior high era. Definitely was pivotal for me, because it was, during that time it was many different styles you can do. You can do the casual look, you can do the sport look as far as like sweatsuits and whatnot, and you can do then you had like dudes that was like R&B kind of look. That R&B kind of look. For me at that time, I was more of a dapper dude, where it was like I had like silk shirts, snakeskin shoes, slacks, suits. But I also had like I said, the Nike sweatsuit. I had a troop jacket. You know what I'm saying? A lot of 501s, a lot of Nikes and stuff like that. But I also dressed different back then. I dressed more like a grown man then than I do now. I used to really come to school with full suits on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you said suits too, I was like, damn, you must be out dressing your teachers too back then.
I'm not talking about like suits with ties. I'm talking about like designer suits and shit with like snakeskin shoes on and shit like that, and snakeskin belts, and like I would really come dressed basically like a 80s drug dealer. You know what I mean?
Did your teachers ever suspect that, or they knew you were a good guy?
Nah, they knew I had good people that was raising me, whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I always had a haircut. You know what I'm saying? I was religiously I was at the barbershop every week. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I come from that.
So you had a fairly good upbringing, you would say?
It was very well balanced. I probably had more freedom than the average kid, but I definitely had a strict household when I actually came home. But I was allowed, due to the fact that my grandmother raised me, I was allowed to get away with a lot of shit that the average kid couldn't do. I've been a grown man since I was 9 years old. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. When you're living with the grandparents,
I'm a latchkey kid, so I'm the kid that comes home by itself and makes some food and do my homework, and then parents come home and then they start cooking, and then the dinner is made once parents get home, type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it was like latchkey kid.
Okay. And during that time too, were you discovering people like LL Cool J and Slick Rick? Because I understand you look up to them too.
Definitely. I mean, LL was definitely the first hero. You know what I'm saying? As far as like cool everything, but then I think yeah, it was definitely LL Cool J. Then it was Eric B. Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. Like that whole wave, that was like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That style, particularly like the Eric B. Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, and whatnot.
So you were first getting into hip hop when things first started to get to the mainstream level with Eric B. Rakim, LL Cool J too.
Yeah,
When did you ever play around with your rhymes? Because I understand that it was maybe around 91.
Nah, I've been rhyming since the 80s. I started rhyming in 86.
Oh wow.
86, 85 or something like that. But I didn't start taking it serious till like 88. You know what I'm saying?
And then you started professionally rapping in 1997, would you say?
No, I started professionally as far as contractually. I was already doing shows and all that shit before that. I've been doing shows since the 80s, since 88.
Oh wow! So you rocking a stage is nothing new to you then?
Yeah, that's not new to me. I've been rocking stages since I was 12 years old.
That's great. That's really inspiring to hear because since 1980 in the 80s, and
I did my first show with Cypress Hill when I was like 13, 14 years old.
And who knew all those years later you would have the opportunity to do an album of DJ Muggs?
Right.
Like hearing stories like that is really inspirational too. Like you rocking stages in the 80s, and now you actually have a virtual reality concert. Like that's like the year 4000 type shit right there.
Yeah, that's real though. The virtual reality show. I was the first to do that, man. I could see that being a big thing in the future. I think they're gonna once they really master it and get it, get everything 100% graphic wise with that concept. I think that's gonna be a big thing in the future. Is virtual reality shows, amalgamated shows, you know what I'm saying, hologram shows and stuff like that.
And when you first got approached with that idea too, did you have to second guess it, or you're like, oh hell yeah?
When they told me what it was, I already knew what amalgamated was. So virtual amalgamation, virtual reality, and all that. Augmented. I said augmented. I don't know why I keep saying that. Augmented reality. I had already dealt with an augmented reality company with my man Tri-State and my man Dave Scholes. We had did something with this Do-Rag Dynasty T-shirt. Basically, what Nipsey Hussle does at his Marathon store. We was like the first to do that. I kind of had an idea, but it was a cryptocurrency company, so I didn't really have too much knowledge in that. So I was like, instead of trying to pay me, I was like, let me get a percentage of the coin, and boom, that's what it was.
Wow. And then with you having that underneath your belt too, would you say that would be your one and only, or do you plan on possibly doing more virtual reality sets in the future, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends, Yeah, I think we planning on doing something bigger in the future because I'm still with that company.
Okay. You said something very inspirational because I listen to your interviews because when I like an artist, I'm going to listen to what they have to say outside of the music. You said when you were coming up, you used to listen to people like The Alcoholic and say damn, these guys are dope. I wonder if I ever have a chance to interact with them. And all these years later, you said that you got a song with everybody you wanted to get a song with. I was curious on that kind of feeling that gives you.
just, now it's normal, but at the beginning it's just like you just proud because your talent. It's your talent that got you here, not really like not nothing else. It was just based off of pure talent. The reason why I even have the notoriety that I have, I never really had any cosigns, or I wasn't forced down people's throat by being played on the radio and whatnot. So people that listen to my music, they really listening to my music from a genuine place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can respect that, and just the fact that my peers, the respect that I get from my peers is based on solely only my talent, and I love that. I know it's nothing else. It's no strings attached to it. It's not out of fear or because they have to or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that's something you can't buy is pure talent.
You can't buy that. You can't buy that or respect.
Yeah, that's true. You may give people like money just to do something, but it's the all genuine respect that you just can't buy.
Right.
There's certain things money can't buy in this world.
Right.
I know you must. This is actually, I don't know if you must. I shouldn't assume. A lot of people find you different ways, like from either collaborating with somebody or your solo work too. I remember the first time I ever heard from you was in Linkin Park Reanimation CD, and when I heard that, I was like, "Yo, this dude is nice right here." And like that's when I was first getting into music, so we had no internet.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal for me, man. At that point, like Linkin Park, I didn't even know who Linkin Park was at that time, and when I went to do the song with them, just when I met them, they were so cool. The guy Mike, I think that's his name.
Yeah, Mike Shauna.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, he was so cool. I at that point, I didn't even really care what they did. I was like, this dude is so cool. I want to do a song with him. You know what I'm saying?
And
that's how cool he was. Like, it didn't matter. They could have been farting on the record, and I still would have did it. Just how cool dude was, because I didn't have no idea who Linkin Park was, but I just know dude had a good spirit, and I like dude. I like his spirit. To this day, I think dude is a cool dude. I just like his spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that song was one of my all-time favorite songs too. Paper Cut, like when.
Right. Right.
Did they know who you were when you were doing that song? Like, did they come to you? It's like, hey, Planet, we know you from Cali Agents and things like that.
Yeah, that's what it was, man. And there's stuff like that kind of opened my eyes to know that a lot of people was listening.
Did you ever get discouraged at points thinking that nobody was listening, sir?
All the time. Shit. Luckily, it's just that I think why it doesn't really get to me, because I don't think I really do my music for that purpose. I don't know, man. I have like an imaginary bar in my head that I keep trying to reach, and that's how I make my music. So I don't really have expectations from people, because if you have the moment you start having expectations from people, you're going to get let down fast.
Yeah.
So it's best to not have any expectations and just make the music that you feel, make music that you really want to do, and so you're happy with the outcome. Only time it gets discouraging is just you can't the economic aspect of things can sometimes get in the way. If your money's low or whatnot, I try to not let shit like that get to my emotions or my ways and actions as a man and how I maneuver through life. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't really let shit like that affect me. I don't let it affect me. Well, I don't count other people's money or look at other rappers and be like, well, he has this, why I should have this, I should have that or this. I just don't do none of that stuff. I keep my I try to stay focused on what I'm doing.
I noticed that about you too, and I've been following you throughout the years too. Like, you always never followed the trend. You were always doing your own thing. Like, not a lot of people can say this, Planet Asia, but you are actually in print. Like, you are in I remember the first, and I'll keep it all the way a buck with you, after Linkin Park, when I found your mixtape, The Sickness Part 1, in the back of the Double XL, I was like, I know this guy. This guy's from that Linkin Park song, and I remember buying that album, and I was like, what did I discover? Like, and then I started discovering Cali Agents and all that. I'm curious, What's like the most obvious way that people find you? That's what I always wanted to ask you as a fan.
The obvious way? Damn, that's a good ass question, dude. Damn. It's either, I think it's in between, I think either YouTube, well, today Instagram, of course.
Yeah.
You can find somebody on Instagram. But I'm saying, like, before that, I think it would be more like a feature. It was either featuring, I would be either featured on somebody, because I do a lot of features. Either featured on somebody's project, and that's how they would hear me, or it would be like pockets where, depending on who I'm working with, like, when I did the medicine, that was with Evidence. So whoever was into Evidence like that, they might have checked out the Medicine album. I did the album with DJ Muggs. So whoever was into like Muggs, who never heard of me, that's how they got to me. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the early 90s where everything was in the Source magazine. I have people that know me from the Cali Agents era. And then now you have this new wave where people might know me from, like, working with Hus Kingpin or whoever's the new wave of today. You know what I'm saying? I think it's whatever generation it is. It depends on what generation it is, because you got to think, man. I graduated high school in '95, right? It's 2019, so I can't. When I say generation, I do it by high school years. Like every 4 years, that's a new generation, right, of high school students. So.
Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, that's how I don't go by, like, by regular time. I do everything in fours, because I rate everything from freshman to senior. That's the new generation. Every 4 years is a new generation.
Yeah, you could definitely see throughout, like, even like from like the early 2010s.
So you gotta think. I graduated in '94, right? It's people that I went to school with that was still in high school when Cali Agents came up, that graduated from high school. It's people that I went to high school with that graduated high school when Cali Agents came out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I might have been like 3 or 4 years older than them already, right? So they basically, if you graduated in the year 2000, if you know what I'm saying, if you came into high school at 95 and you graduated, basically if you graduate, if you came in, those 2 generations. So I had definitely my foundation of strong 2 generations where I graduated high school. Those people that went to school with me who knew I rapped, they fucked with me. So I came out 98, 97, 98. So whoever was in that paradigm heard Planet Asia. So you got to think, then boom, 2000, from 2000 to 2004, whoever was in high school from 2000 to 2004 was basically raised off my music, right? And then you can take it a step further. From 2004 to even 2008, I was still popping still. So you got to think, I done been through a lot of generations. So 2004, 2008, 2008 to 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2012, right? That's another generation. 2012 to 2016, that's another generation. And then you got 2016, 2019, we got 1 more year, that'll be another generation. Now, how many generations was that?
Like 5 generations, sir.
I done been through 5 generations.
That was actually, one of my questions too, because you come from a time where recording wasn't digital. Like, you come from a time where you actually had to have your raps ready and to be able to record because you're not wasting these tapes.
Not only that shit cost a lot of money too. Like, just to make a demo tape, before I made any professional album, our demo tapes cost more money than what people actually paid in the studio today, damn near.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, because you got to think, a reel to reel costs like $250. You understand what I'm saying?
Jeez.
That's not including the studio time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just for the real.
So altogether, you might pay like $600-$700 for studio time, and you trying to cram 10. You doing 10 hours, right? So you got 10 hours. You trying to cram like 7 songs within them 10 hours. Maybe even more than that.
Did you ever?
If you got your raps ready.
Did you ever?
And then not only that, that, you want to get a light mix on it because you paying for everything. You're not coming back to get a mix. What you leaving with is that's going to be the demo. So not only are you recording, you gotta put a mix on it too.
Well, I never knew you had to do the mix in the same day too. Wow, that's.
Yeah. Unless you want to come back and pay another $500. And what 13-year-old kids walking around with that type of money? Exactly.
Yeah, unless they were living that New Jack lifestyle.
Yeah, and I was doing this at 12. I was doing that shit at 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, paying for shit like that, Well, it wasn't just me by myself. I had a crew, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we would put our money together and hit the lab up. You know what I'm saying?
Because for the people who are wondering too, like you come from a time where you actually had to be dope when spitting too. Like, can you remember the night that you were spitting with Al Canelli and Eminem? Because you know how much people can wish they said they did that.
Yes, I remember that night. Because me and Eminem was signed to the same label at the time. We were both on Interscope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I know that. I knew you were on Interscope too.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know I was on Interscope?
Sorry, what's that, sir?
You didn't know I was on Interscope?
No, I said I did know you were on Interscope.
Oh, yeah, yes. So that was during the Interscope era, and that's when we used to go up to the wake-up show religiously and just freestyle all the fucking time, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about.
Do you still think about those times and listen to your old demos from time to time and thinking like, damn, I came a long way, or you don't really like to listen to the past work?
I don't really listen. I mean, I do sometimes just to joke around and be like, that shit is horrible. But when I do hear it, I go, damn, I know I came a long ass way. It's called growth and development, man. Like that growth and development, man. But I never wanted to be an artist that just blew up from the gate because I felt like that wouldn't be no fun. I wouldn't be able to have fun in the culture of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did people ever try to label you like a West Coast artist, but when they hear you rap, it's like, well, he doesn't sound like he's from the West.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's how they used to do me. They used to do me like that.
Yeah, because I love lyricalism. I think Crooked Eye, shout out to Crook if you're listening, one of my very first guests, he made me appreciate lyricalism to a whole new point because he was a West Coast, got signed to the Death Row, but as he got better within time, appearing on Hellraiser's album, he was spitting like he was from the East, and so when I hear people like Planet Asia spitting the way he does too,
it's funny you mention him. You know that me and Crooked Eye, Crooked Eye is me, Crooked Eye, and Helter Skelter. We had a song on the Wake Up Show thing back in the day, and that was the first song that I ever had played on national radio.
Wow, you Crooked Helter Skelter, rest in peace, Rock.
Yeah.
What's that song for the people if they want to check it out?
What was the name of that damn song? Shit. Damn, I done forgot, man. It's so old.
Y'all gotta just type in Crooked Eye, Planet Asia, Helter Skelter if you want to hear that.
Just type that in. It was on the Wake Up Show album.
Okay. So you obviously had a relationship with Crook from
Hold on right quick. I'm about to blend.
Oh yeah, no worries, my guy, no worries.
Hey, hold on right quick. I'm about to make this blend right quick. Hold on.
No worries.
I'm just making a little blender I'm making a little blend right quick.
Oh, don't worry, my guy. Health is wealth,
Yeah.
So you being from the West, you obviously met Crooked at a very early age, too. Because I won't lie, that dude's in my top 5, and for me to actually interview somebody in my top 5,
he gets busy.
Did you guys ever have really serious hip hop talks for over 5 hours? Because I know he's a hip hop head. Did you ever have daily conversations with him?
I mean, shit, Crooked, that's my boy. We have, I don't know, we joke a lot, so it's not really about, I don't know, it's like when you do this, when you get with artists, it don't really be about hip hop a lot of times, even with, me and Ruck, rest in peace, Sean Price, we talked about rap a lot, but we joked a lot too. Yeah,
because that's what makes the music come second nature when you actually have a relationship with that person.
Yeah, man, you gotta, we a lot of times, artists, we we be on some regular human shit.
You listen to a lot of music that I've done my research about you too, and you actually put me on to that mob music up in Northern Cali, like the Jacka, because that's a whole different sound. And I was wondering if you can break down when the first time you ever heard like that mob sound too, because that's like, man, I still trip out about that.
Right. Well, I'm from Fresno, so I kind of grew up off that music, man. Off of mob music. There's a big Bay Area influence in Fresno, California. They listen to a lot of E40, Mac Dre. There was a lot of Jacka being played. Sibo, of course, and Sibo he's responsible for the mob figures. And then, of course, my brother from my city, Killer Tay, he was down with Sibo. So it was always some mob music going on in Fresno.
Okay, so that was nothing new to actually hear that.
Yeah, it wasn't really nothing new. The thing about it was that Jacka, I feel like Jacka elevated it more because he was a perfect blend of what I do and what they do.
Oh, rest in peace to the Jacka too, because man,
I miss that brother a lot, man. I think about the Jacka every day.
I'm gonna say too, because I noticed like even with Prodigy too, like we lose a lot of the greats and we don't realize until they're gone too. Like even with Nipsey too, like R.I.P. Nipsey too. The thing that I always tell people is you should give people their flowers where they can smell it. It doesn't matter.
And we was just me and Phil the Agony was just about to try to get Nipsey Hussle on the song for our project that we working on.
See, that was fire right there.
Have you crazy?
Have you ever met the late Nipsey, sir? Have you ever met him?
Of course. That was my brother. Hell yeah. I knew Nipsey. And I've been in the studio with Nipsey. I've had long conversations with Nipsey. We talked about all kind of shit. That was my brother.
And did he ever bring up that when he used to listen to you in the late 90s?
Hell yeah, that's how I met him. He told me he used to listen to me. He told me that a lot of his, due to the fact that, he grew up as a gang member, a lot of the people around him would be listening to like, super gangster shit. And he would be like, yo, peep this shit though. And he was like, people would be like, damn, what the hell are you listening to? And he'd be like, yeah, this is that Planet Asia shit. I fucks with Cuz. You feel me? And so that's why, when it came to like even hip hop, if you listen to, he had bars. You could tell he was a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can tell that he took this crap very serious too when you listen to his old mixtapes like The Marathon or The Marathon Continues.
Hell yeah.
With you having because you have a lot of albums and mixtapes too. One of my favorites is the grand opening. I was curious on, it's maybe just because I'm in Canada, but I was curious why you never put that on streaming sites, sir.
Why I never put it on what?
Streaming sites like Tidal, Apple Music, because it could be I'm in Canada too, because we had this issue with some of the Benny the Butcher tracks. We weren't getting the full albums up here.
I think maybe that's with the label that owns it, Avatar Records.
Okay.
I don't own that album. That's that was a record company album.
Yeah, because a lot of people think an artist owns all the rights to their music, but there's a difference between a label's album and an independent album.
Yeah. Now this album, Initials on My Jewelry, I own that. Egyptian Merchandise, I own that. Those are my albums. You know what I'm saying?
And Egyptian Merchandise gives you a little bit of everything from you, because I think that's my second favorite album from you.
I love that album.
I'm curious too. Have you ever been to Egypt? Because you must get booked a lot overseas. Have you ever got the chance to actually see Egypt, sir?
I haven't been to Egypt.
Okay.
I've been to Africa, but I haven't been to Egypt. I'll be going soon though.
All right. You definitely got to get a picture of that Sphinx right there and Planet Asia of that Sphinx. Album cover material. When you're naming your projects too, do you have to finish the project for you to name it, or do you always go into the project with the name first? That's what I was curious about.
It depends. Most of the time, I'll go into to it with the concept of the album.
Okay, so you're very concept driven, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with pain language.
I'm only concept driven as far as vibes. I'm not into over conceptual songs though.
Okay. So it's the vibe.
You know what I'm saying?
You want people to catch the vibe.
I feel like over conceptual songs, once you heard it. You heard it for the rest of your life. You don't even really need. After you heard it a few times, you don't really need to hear it no more.
Yeah.
I like songs that I'm still trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying?
And
I like to catch shit years later, like I didn't realize that's what he said.
Now with
that's what he was talking about.
It's funny. It's funny how you said that too, because Only Built for Cuban Links is very lingo based, a very lingo based album too. And as you get older, you really start to understand what he was talking about. It's like, damn, Ray was really out here, like living that.
Right.
I was curious too. Does that ever like still blow your mind to this day? Like, yo, he is actually talking, but a lot of those bars fly over people's heads because I noticed like a lot of people don't like paying attention to like spiritual and awakened stuff like that.
Yeah, they got, a lot of people got ADHD. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So they don't get it. It's just like even when I listen to Eric and Rakim Follow the Leader album, it's still shit that I catch in there. Like, damn, I didn't realize he said that. You know what I'm saying? Especially Rakim. That's why he's one of my favorites, because damn near 30 years later, and I'm still hearing shit that I didn't realize that he said.
That's why he's the God MC. A lot of people don't notice about Rakim though, but he was signed to Aftermath for a bit too. I was curious on what you think that Aftermath Rakim album would have sounded like too, because I heard there was...
I heard it.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually heard that album. You wanna hear some funny shit?
Yes, sir.
50 Cent's first album, Get Rich or Die Trying?
Yes, sir.
Most of those beats were on Rakim's first album. On Rakim's Aftermath album.
Like Back Down. I heard little bits of stories like that, but I never actually knew it was true.
I heard the Back Down song.
Jeez, man, I can only imagine what that sounds like. I tell you, I'll be searching the net for that album.
Yeah.
But I was curious too, like if the public were to heard it too, do you think that Rakim would have been as big as 50 Cent? Like, because
I can't even lie. I don't know if it would have been bigger than 50 Cent, but all I know, it would have been the best Rakim album y'all ever heard.
And you get to hear a lot of music before it's released, or it's not released at all too. Did you ever expect that coming into the game, sir? Like, able to hear like one of your most favorites album before it ever releases, or don't even get releases? Like, did you ever think that was ever going to happen?
I knew that early because I already had friends that were famous, and I used to be able to hear shit before it came out, or it never came out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like at the height of the hieroglyphic era, I used to hear shit that I've heard songs from them that never came out in that time that was fire. Whole albums. I remember Casual had this one album that was so fire. I talk to him about it all the time. Like, whatever happened to that shit? It was so ill. He had this one record, man. Man, it was ill. But he never put it out. It was right after. It was during the Jive time, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Wow. Jive was. I remember Jive was killing it for a bit, and it kind of went downhill.
So I've been privy to hear certain things, and they just come with the culture.
That's very true, because like obviously people want to get other people's opinion before it's released to the public. Would you say that?
Yeah. And sometimes shit just gets leaked out. One homie back in the day, you'd be like, one person get the tape, and that's it.
Yeah, all over LimeWire back in the day.
Yeah.
You really are ahead of your time, Planet Asia. I don't know if people ever told you that though, because what I see from your past work, like you have albums with DJ Muggs or an EP with Madlib, and 2019, a lot of those names have been coming up on the show, or even in the underground hip hop scene, that people are collaborating with them. But you were super early on to that. Do you ever say that to yourself too? It's like, damn, I think I'm ahead of my time with this.
No, I know that. I know I know I'm ahead of my time, and the thing about it, I try not to think about it too much because that shit is painful. Being ahead of your time is painful. It's about being on time.
Okay.
Not always being ahead of time.
That's a very interesting answer. I never would have expected that.
Yeah. Yes, it's about being on time. Sometimes being ahead of the time, you don't get to reap the benefits of what you started. It's usually the third party that catches on. When people finally catch on, you're not on that no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like kind of like a hit and miss back then.
Like for instance, everybody is talking this lo-fi music. I could play you an album that I did with Architect that I didn't really never release, and it's pure all lo-fi before that was even thought of. And I'm talking about we made this album in like 2007 or 6 or some shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
And now that's all you hear is lo-fi.
Yeah, it was all lo-fi. We did the whole album lo-fi. Sound like some MF Doom shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was called Archangels vs. Medallions. I never released it. I released one song probably a couple years ago. The joint with me and Dale the Funky Homo Sapien. I had leaked that out on the internet like a few years ago, and that was off my Archangels vs. Medallions album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, oh, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, keep going, sir. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying that's one of the signs of being ahead of the time. You know, we was working with Jake One back when Jake One, you know, he wasn't even known yet. Super Dave West, even Dilla. I had beats from Dilla when he was alive. I just didn't get a chance to use. If you go in if I go in my old CD crates, you don't know who I might pull up out of that shit, man, because I had everybody.
Yeah, like from Bros, Nazareth, like man, like the list goes on.
Everybody, Pete Rock, whoever you can think of, man. Touch of Jazz, High Tech, DJ Khalil, anybody you can think of. Ayatollah. I had a beat CD from here. Whoever you can think of. Anybody except the only person I didn't have a beat CD from was DJ Premier. Even Alchemist. I had Alchemist CDs with beats that ended up on like Mobb Deep albums and all kind of shit. Like some of your most classic records, I had the instrumental before the actual artist had. Wow,
I never knew that. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Is that, would you say, how you met Big Twins is through Alchemist, sir?
Maybe, but I don't know, man. I think I met Twins with the Mob somewhere. Twins is like one of my best friends, man. I don't even know. We always ask each other, like, how the fuck did I meet you? I don't even know how I met Twins, man. That's my brother, though, right there, man. That's like family. That's my dog right there, man. I don't know how the fuck I met Twin, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Al was somewhere in between it. But yeah.
Yeah, because when you were...
either I think it was with Muggs. It might have been with Muggs.
Okay, yeah, because I understand. Because like when when you're friends with somebody for so long, it's kind of hard to pinpoint that exact moment y'all met.
Right.
Shout out to Twins too. He's a good guy.
I would definitely say we probably got closer through Al. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, because I'm assuming that you guys will all be in the studio with Al.
Yeah, we definitely been in the studio a lot.
Now, here's the thing, like, when Game was coming up too, I noticed that a lot of people were checking a West Coast artist to see if they ever had a Dr. Dre track. You never let that affected you, though.
Nah, I never did,
Because when people are coming out the West, they think they have to have that Dr. Dre track, but you never, like, let that affect you, though. That's what I admire about you.
As far as the Dr. Dre thing, you know what's crazy about that is the reason why I never tripped off of it because I feel like Dre would work with me. You know what I'm saying? If he had the time, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't feel like I never felt like Dre was opposed to it because I met Dre a few times and we actually get along. Like, the 2 times that I've actually sat and kicked it with Dre, we had great conversation and laughed and shit, talked about records and music and shit like that. The thing about Dr. Dre, I'm more want to just have conversations with Dre than even make music. You know what I'm saying?
Like pick
I
his
feel
brain.
like a conversation with Dre is damn near just as good as having a song with Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well,
it's
because you can get a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just being around Dr. Dre is cool enough for me, man. I don't really have no complaints about dude. He did everything he needed to do, and I was blessed to see Dr. Dre before I even know him. I was blessed to go to NWA shows and see the growth and development of Dre. I've seen Dre be on the turntables before. A lot of people have never, most hip hop dudes only know Dre the rapper. I know the DJ Dr. Dre. So it's like, I have a respect for him that's way higher than, you should be doing a song with me. I don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as one of my elders in hip hop that actually took on the whole lifestyle, being one of the best producers, being a student of the game, being a fan of Public Enemy and incorporating the intricacies of how Public Enemy's production was, and taking it to his level and taking it to a whole nother level, and even inspiring other producers, such as DJ Khalil, who I feel is like one of the best producers in the world.
Facts.
And all the other great producers that might have been inspired by Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre's not only a producer, he's a conductor, meaning that he doesn't have to just make the beat himself. He can take your beat and make the shit sound better than when you made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's rare.
That's what a real producer does. Quincy Jones is like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes great producers: arrangements, mixing, mastering. You know what I'm saying? Making you do your verses over and over and over until it comes out how he hears it in his head. You feel me?
Yes, sir. I like how
knowing the ability that being able to see the ability in you and be like, I know you can do it because this is what I do, and I can hear it in your voice. All you have to do is this, that, and the third, and you do that, and it comes out sounding like something that you never thought you was gonna sound like. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a producer is, like a DJ Muggs. DJ Muggs is another one of my favorite producers, not just because when you say producer, you can't. I'm not just saying as far as like a beat maker, as a conductor. You know what I'm saying? A person that knows how to arrange music, knows how to put an album together. You know what I'm saying? Can tell you like, don't rap so loud. Rap more calm, or put some up in it right here, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Instead of just saying do this.
Yeah, like people like that make you better. So doing like I said, the information, education, and the knowledge is way more important than actually getting one. It's like it's basically saying I would rather be taught how to fish than given some fish. You feel me?
Yeah, I heard that saying before too. My dad used to say that a lot.
Yeah, you can learn from Dr. Dre just by analyzing.
Yes. I'll keep it all the way buck because you said a lot of people know Dre because the rapper. I was born in '91, so in the year 1999, I was walking through the streets and I seen this weed CD on the ground that said 2001. I was real young at the time, so I don't know what this is. So I picked it up and I'm thinking it's a PlayStation game. I put the shit in my PlayStation. Once I heard that Watcher, I was sold. I was like, man, I don't know what this is, but this was destiny for me to find. It doesn't
exactly.
When you see films like Straight Outta Compton, does that give you hope that there will actually be like more movies like that, like a Juice Crew movie or like a Mobb Deep movie or even a Eric B. and Rakim movie? Because I believe like those type of movies can really, really open up a lot of people's eyes. Because I seen like people at my work
or a Planet Asia movie.
I was gonna say that'd be fire right there. You know how much people would be in that movie?
That should be dope. You know what I'm saying? That should be dope, dude.
We got to see the beginning of Cali Agents. Oh, it got to be legendary.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, and it's a lot connected to that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got other things connected to that. Because Rascal comes from a whole nother tribe, a circle of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Of people older than me that I looked up to. So it's just like, you know, it's this shit. You know, it's a cycle, man. You know what I'm saying?
And for the people that are wondering too, is Rascal still retired, or can we expect another Cali Agents album coming out? I think I know the answer.
We almost done with the Cali Agent album.
Oh,
you know
right. So the fans.
We only got like a few songs to do.
Did he come to you with that idea, sir?
What'd you say?
Did he come to you with that idea to do another Cali Agents album, sir?
Well, it was already gonna happen anyway. He just retired as a rapper, as Rascal, the solo artist. He's not really doing that.
Okay, but Cali Agents all the way still.
He'll do Cali Agent projects, but he's not doing like rap. He's not rapping by himself or none of that. He doesn't feel like, you know, the game is, you know, receptive of him or deserving, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I feel different, but, you know, to each his own. He found another passion and other things. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the filming and photography, that's his thing right there. That's what he gets his bread and butter. You know, this rap shit sometimes, man, it's a roller coaster ride. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta. This shit, you know, he put his hours in, and he made his classic records. He did what he wanted to do, you know, and you can't really blame him. I can't blame him. I don't blame him, because shit, this shit is a lot of times it's a lot of bullshit that comes with this rap shit, man. Like, it ain't what people think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, as it don't matter how dope you are or how dope your music is, you know, it's other shit that go with that shit, man. You know. People follow shiny shit a lot of times, so, you know, you gotta know how to play the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people want to hear that microwave music that's not gonna last 5 years from now.
That, and, you know, just people, you know, people don't really support like that, so it's just like, you know, it sounds, you know, shit sounds good and it looks good, but, you know, that's why I tell you, I do this shit because I love it. I don't really do this shit because, you know, notoriety or fame or you know, of course I'm entertaining people. I definitely entertain people, but trust me, a big percentage of what I do is based off what I like to do and what I want to do. No one's pressing no buttons over here. You know what I'm saying?
See, I like that too, that the drive is still there too, because you could have easily stopped, like, after, like, what we talked about with the generations within rap too. Like, you could have quit after your third generations. Like, no, I'm good with this.
Yeah,
you kept going.
And the thing is like, I don't really even have time to do nothing else but this, so it'd be kind of awkward. That's like if you was a vegetarian your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna start eating fried chicken. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll fuck yourself up. This is my passion. My passion is creating. I create brainwaves to people, and I speak in a certain language in my music that's hard to that's you know, not easily detected, but it definitely hits the pressure points. So I've mastered the art of speaking without speaking. You know what I'm saying? Within my music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, I'm somewhere else with it. What I benefit from this has really nothing to do with like a lot of financial shit or physical shit. You know what I'm saying?
I loved when you said that when you getting booked for a lot of solo shows, that Rascal would hit you up. He's like, "Yeah, we got a tour," and you're like, "What? We said we got a tour? I thought you retired."
Yeah, right. You know, I'm not counting him out though. Shit, you know, this shit is addictive. You know, he might fuck around and make another album. Who knows? He has a lab at the crib, so you know when dudes got labs at the crib, what usually happens.
This is a question that I have to ask a lot of the artists too. What's the longest you ever took to write a song?
The longest? I don't know, because I don't remember ever taking too long to write a song.
So, but you know,
I'll tell you this though. Sometimes I know when I'm going to take a long time to write a song. It's not like I get stuck. It's like I know I'm not going to write this song in one day.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when you hear a beat off the rip too, do you know you're going to use that? Or sometimes you have to sit with it and actually think, like, this kind of hits me after about 5 hours listening to it?
With you say?
Like when you're listening to a beat, do you know that you're gonna record to that right off the rip, or do you have to sit with it and like let it kind of hit you different?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. It depends on how the beat is. If the beat is, sometimes the beat will grab you. Sometimes, you don't get it till like midway. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I fucks with this. So, you know what I'm saying? It just depends.
This is a question I always wanted to ask you too. How much times do people ask you, are you from Asia?
How many times have they asked me, am I from Asia?
Yeah, like how much times do people ask, without knowing your history, let's say?
Or asking me, do I have any Asian in me?
Yeah.
At the beginning of my career, I used to get asked that a lot, but I don't really get asked that too much more.
Okay.
Why? You feel like I look Asian a little bit, right?
Oh no, because my man was telling me, I'm like, I got an interview with Planet Asia, and he's like, is he Asian? I'm like, man, you remember that Linkin Park song? That Planet Asia.
Right.
He's like, oh, say word, okay. So, but
people used to ask me, was I mixed with Asian? I'd be like, nah, I'm African, man.
And I like how you said too that you actually went back to Africa too. I was curious where you went.
I went to South Africa. It was popping.
Oh wow! For a show, or just for the hell of it?
For a show.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It must have been really rocking with you out there too.
Yeah, they rock with me all over Africa, especially West Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, I got a lot of African stuff coming up soon. I'm gonna be doing some African stuff.
A lot of things too is health is wealth too. I was curious on your partake on that too. Like, are you vegan? Do you eat clean, sir?
I suggest that people eat clean, man. You're gonna do what you want to do at times, man. But eating clean is the way to go if you can. I just put something in the blender right now.
Yeah, that's how I was curious. Health is wealth.
I'm feeling nourished right now, so hey, I said go clean, man. There's nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with going clean, man. Go clean, man. Drink water, and
it benefit y'all in the long run.
Huh?
It will benefit y'all in the long run.
It will definitely benefit you in the long run.
So I only have 2 more questions for you, Planet Asia, and I'll let you go because I understand you're a busy man. You once said something about looking to the youth because the youth is the future, and that really was inspiring to hear too, because you actually embrace the youth, and a lot of people don't. And I was curious, what makes you embrace the youth so much? Because
I never forgot when I was a youth, so you can't. That's the problem with a lot of old people. They forget when they were a youth and they get hardened. You become, rotten. A lot of people equate to like teeth and other things, but you can be rotten on the inside. See, rotten, something that's rotten, when your teeth rot, it's because you didn't take care of it and you didn't scrub it. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to scrub your teeth from the beginning. It's from the development, right? So the same way you've been brushing your teeth since you was a kid and having fun, you're supposed to be doing the same shit and having an imagination. A lot of people grow up and they lose their imagination, and when you lose your imagination, you lose your youthfulness, because when you were young, you had ambitions and shit, you had goals, you had dreams and shit. You get older, you don't even dream no more, even in your fucking sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you gotta stay youthful and never forget how you was when you lived in your parents' house and they was paying all the bills. And, you know what I'm saying? You gotta never forget that shit, and that's how you stay aware. It's not about being old and acting young. It's just about being aware and being in tune with stuff. And still keeping your imagination. That's why I'm able to be creative. I'm creative just like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old. I approach everything as a kid. To this day, I still approach everything as a child. I don't even, the age that I'm at, it's just, I don't realize that I'm even the age that I am. You know that? I don't even realize that shit.
Hey, but that's good though. That's good, because a lot of people, they get hung up on the age.
I really don't have a concept of the shit. You understand? Even though I have a few gray hairs and shit, but but I just don't. It doesn't compute. I don't feel like an old person. I don't feel like I just know it. When I'm around people, they like, what? You what? How old? I'm like, yeah, I'm that old. And they're like, damn, I never would have thought that. It's because, like, yeah, I take care of myself, and I'm not fucking bitter about that. I'm not mad about anything. You know what I'm saying? And usually, young people equate old people with being mad and shit at everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for being to be mad and bitter and sour. That's how you become old. That's what an old thing is. Sour. Old shit. When something gets old, it tastes sour. You understand what I'm saying? It becomes bitter.
I like that too, like when you keep your youth in you too, because it just shows like what you can create if you still approach things as a kid.
Yeah, you gotta keep your youthful energy, man. Laugh, joke. Don't be so fucking uptight.
It's good to hear that, that you're still very driven after all you've been through too, because like I said, you could have quit after your third generation.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna say that Anchovies album too. That's my shit right there. I just want to tell you that.
Right. Thank you, man.
This is a question at the end of the show that I ask all my guests. Now, the reason why I ask this question is because no individual can ever answer this question the same. So, after having interactions with you, I'm really, really curious on your answer for this question, sir.
Okay.
Do you have any words for somebody in a dark place trying to see the light?
That what?
That's trying to see the light?
The light. What light?
The light at the end of the tunnel of that dark place.
Man, well, they said I was taught that light travels at 13 decibels. You know what I'm saying? And it travels at 1,120 feet per second. You understand what I'm saying? Now you divide 12 times 13,440. You know what I'm saying? And you get that number. You know what I'm saying? You get the number 1,120, right? Right?
Yes.
So that's 2, 4, 4 is your culture. So meaning your way of life is the light. Your way of life is the light.
Oh, I never thought of it like that, and hope the other people out there think of it like that too, because it's all about certain situations you put yourself in that make your life like that. I never see a lot of people. They don't really think about things like that until somebody puts it into perspective for them.
Right.
Wow, that's a really good answer.
So your way of life is going to lead you to that light. So make sure your way of life is dedicated to whatever your goal and ambition is. Your way of life has to be dedicated to that, and that's the only way you'll for surely get to that end of the light. And that's called work.
And a lot of people
Hard work.
A lot of people don't want to take those first few steps either. I noticed.
Yep, you have to work, man.
I like that.
Gotta get to work.
I like that answer. Planet Asia, the way of life. I hope somebody really fucks with your music, takes that, and helps them change their life.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole reason why I do this podcast, is to just uplift people if they're in a dark place, because I ain't gonna front. I started this podcast when I was in a dark place. I'm good now, but I just want to give back to the people because I know what it was like being in that dark place.
Right.
Planet Asia, I just want to say you're a very humble legend. I don't know if you got told that a lot, but you're very humbled. You like to plug anything before I let you go? Oh, man, I appreciate you taking the time out of time.
Man. Peace to everybody, man. Peace to all the human families on the planet Earth, man. Man, just support the movement, support the music, man. Y'all stay healthy and shit. Treat everybody kind, man, and make the world a better place, man. And you can reach me on Instagram, Planet Asia Medallions. You can reach me on Twitter at Planet Asia. And get all the music. Get the new album, Initials on my jewelry. The next one will be All Gold Everything. After that, Keita. Then you got the DJ Scratch Planet Asia album, Cali Agents. You got a lot of shit coming.
Yeah, so you loaded down.
Be prepared.
Once I heard that DJ Scratch Planet Asia, I'm gonna drop my phone.
I am a jazz musician. I don't do one albums. I do demonstrations. These are not albums.
I like that. I like that. As a kid, that demonstration is going to be legendary when that comes out.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah,
y'all.
man. So I'm gonna get at you, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime, my guy.
Let me know when this airs.
This upcoming Monday, sir.
All right.
All right, with that being said, there's another classic episode from the Desk Flow featuring the humbled legend, Planet Asia.
Peace.
Peace, my guy. Appreciate it.
One love, man.
One love.